with his thick dark hair and great body, honed from daily visits to the gym. Adam was a good-looking guy, but the kind of good-looking that immediately transformed to hot when you started to talk to him. He had a wicked smile, intelligent dark brown eyes that twinkled when he was interested in what you were saying, and a rich voice that seemed to take a direct path to a woman's erogenous zones. Those gorgeous eyes of his lifted to smile into mine. "I haven't seen you with one of these in a while." "My diaries," I nodded, trying to sort them into chronological order. "I stopped writing." "Why?" "I stopped after we got together. There didn't seem to be any point to them anymore, since they were basically just an outlet for my feelings for you." His lips curled up at the corners. "Baby," he murmured, and reached over to tuck a length of short hair behind my ear. I frowned at the reminder my hair was short. Before the tumour, I had a head of long, light blonde hair. I'd loved my hair, and I knew Adam had loved my hair, but the surgeons had shaved a patch of it off my head to cut into my brain unobstructed. I'd covered the patch with a headscarf, but had eventually stopped wearing it as the hair grew back, and I allowed my mother to talk me into getting a chic pixie cut. I was horrified when I walked out of the hair salon, and only somewhat appeased when Adam told me he thought my new haircut was sexy and cute. I was completely appeased when Joss told me anything was better than a tumour. She was right. If my tumour had taught me one thing about life, it was not to sweat the small stuff. That didn't mean it wasn't damn annoying waiting for my hair to grow back. At the moment, it was barely to my chin. "So why are you looking at these?" Adam asked, picking one up and flicking through it absent-mindedly. I didn't particularly care. I was a pretty open person anyway, but especially with Adam. I wasn't embarrassed by anything I wrote. I trusted him with the very depths of who I was. "For Joss," I replied brightly, feeling giddy about the whole thing. The night before, Joss and I had been hanging out at her and Braden's flat, my old flat on Dublin Street, and she'd told me her manuscript was coming along nicely. Joss was American, a writer, and she'd come to Edinburgh to escape a tragic past. Her story broke my heart. When she was 14, she'd lost her entire family in a car accident. I couldn't even begin to imagine what that must have been like for her. I just knew it had left a deep mark. I liked Joss immediately when I interviewed her to be my flatmate. But I'd known then there was something broken about her, and I'd decided I wanted to help somehow. She'd been pretty closed off, but when she started dating my big brother, Braden, I watched her slowly change. She said Braden and I both changed her, but really, it was him. He'd helped her so much that she'd even begun to write a story based on her parents' relationship. That was a huge step for her, and she told me that she couldn't believe how much she was enjoying writing it. It had given me an idea for her next project. "Why for Joss?" "Because inside these diaries is the history of us," I grinned at him. "It's a good romance story. I think it should be her next novel." I could see Adam was dying to laugh for some reason. I had no idea why, so I ignored it. "Next romance novel?" "Next, as in, follows the previous romance. The story about her parents is a romance." "Still, I'm pretty sure Joss wouldn't classify herself as a romance writer. In fact, I've heard her say as much." "So have I." I tossed my first diary back in the box. It wouldn't aid Joss's research, considering I was 7 when I scribbled in it. It was mostly about my Barbies and Cindy dolls and my issues with Cindy's flat feet and the impossibility of her and Barbie sharing shoes. It used to drive me nuts. And I do believe the lady doth protest too much. She's definitely a romance writer. I primed her to be a romance writer, subjecting her to so many romantic dramas it would be a miracle if she didn't become a romance writer. He chuckled, my diary still open in his hands. He asked, "So you wrote about me in all of these?" as his eyes scanned the pages. Yes, I had. I'd had a big crush on Adam since I was 10 and he was 17. That big crush had transformed into an even bigger crush when I was 14, and then just snowballed from there. I threw another diary from my childhood into the box and reached for the next one in the pile. "I've loved you for a long time."